Well, hello there, and you join us here today on this sad day of choosing the worst watches of 2023. If you like good watches, check some out at watchfinder.com. There is a link in the description below. If you click it, it really helps us out. Thank you. Tom, it is the time of year when we come together to fill each other's heads with negativity and griping. And there's nothing better to gripe about than the worst watches of the year. This year is 2023. Why don't you start us off with your worst watch of 2023?
Okay, yeah, well, such a shame to have to do this. But, you know, they shouldn't have done it. So my worst watch of the year, unfortunately, is from Tissot. I generally like Tissot. They're a good place to go, good bargains generally. And the PRX has been a bit of a darling in the last couple of years. Really nice build quality, really great design. But this time, I think Tissot have taken it a little bit too far, and they've made this PRX digital monstrosity. So yeah, you get all that lovely 70s integrated case and bracelet and the very nicely designed watch itself. But instead of the beautiful analog dial with the waffle texture, they've taken that away and slapped in just like almost like a stock digital display, which is kind of bland, and you get this very small digital window and all this kind of negative space around it. There's a bit of a logo, and yeah, it's all it's just very messy. The two things don't really gel together. It would be fine, I think, if it was like a bit of a laugh, like, hey, check out this digital version. You know, it's just £30. But it's not, it's £415 for the steel version with the yellow gold PVD coating, and then the plain steel version is just £330. So it's quite pricey for what it is, which is like a bit of a gaudy digital watch. I think they wanted to kind of get as much out of the PRX design as they could, but I think they've taken it a little bit too far. I think they maybe wanted to hone in on that sort of gold Casio, that old kind of vintage Casio vibes, that's sort of like effortlessly cool. You know, it looks like I care, but I don't, because it's just a Casio. Hang on though, it's gold. Yeah, well, whatever. See you later. That kind of vibe. I feel like that's what they're going for. If you look at the tutorial video for how to set it up, they mention that the alarm function will help you to wake up after a party or something. Like,
you never oversleep after a party again.
It's for people that go to parties.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. How do you do, fellow kids? Give me £415.
Tom, I would describe the integration of these two concepts as suboptimal. The only saving grace that I can think of is that at the top it says Tissot 1853, and that there will be a satisfying moment at 7 minutes to 7 p.m. Every day when the dial also reads 1853. Ooh. That's me really, really scraping the bottom of the barrel for things that I can think of that are positive about this watch.
Yeah. Shame. Swing and a miss, Tissot, but hey, dust yourself off, son. We'll see you next year.
Tom, speaking of questionable decisions, we saw part 2 of the Swatch Times collaboration series this year. First and foremost, we saw it with the Speedmaster to create the catchily titled Moon Swatch. Everyone loves a pun. Puns are the best. We had our doubts about that watch, but it was all right. It was fine. It wasn't as bad as we thought. It's certainly not an amazing piece of horological wisdom. But it was fine. And of course, that formula was going to be repeated. What we didn't expect was that it would be repeated with the Blancpain 50 Fathoms. To celebrate the 70th anniversary of this famous dive watch, considered to be the first of the modern dive watch standard, Swatch created a series of models in different brightly coloured bioceramics to celebrate the different biodiversities of the various oceans. Only problem was the watch was a little bit more expensive. It's still crap, and nobody wanted one. For a very brief period, people were like, oh yeah, sure, I'll queue up for one, but I knew it had gone downhill when I walked past an actual Blancpain store and saw the Pelican case full of those watches, pride of place in the shop window. That's ridiculous. That would be like walking into the car dealership and on the main plinth in the middle is like the toy pedal one. Like that's the thing they're trying to sell above all else. Don't worry about the car. We've got some great key rings for sale. You up for it?
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of fun. My general reaction was, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I quite liked the cordyceps on the back. Thought they were fun. But yeah, I thought the first time was clever. That was a bit naughty, bit exciting. But this time it's kind of a bit sort of formulaic. Is this just going to be routine now?
It feels like enforced corporate fun, doesn't it? This is the team building day of watches. It's building a bridge out of paper cups and seeing how much weight it will hold of time-telling devices. What I especially don't like about it is that Blancpain first had an opportunity to revive the 50 Fathoms as a core piece of the collection for the 70th anniversary. They came up with that bronze gold thing for 30 grand, but they didn't really do a like, here's the latest cool steel piece, like this is the definitive version of this watch, and then support that with the Swatch 50 Fathoms. There was nothing to go to.
It's a bit muddy over there in Blancpain's catalogue, isn't it? And that makes the connection seem... It seems like a bit of a futile connection at the minute. Yeah, they needed to get that in order.
Here be watches. It was emphasised to me very, very specifically when I went into a Blancpain store and the guy there, looking very depressed because he had no one to talk to all day, was like, "Oh, hello, what are you looking for?" And I was, because I'm a mad lad, right? So I thought I'd be like, "Why?" I said, "Have you got any of those Blancpain times Swatch 50 Fathoms?" And he said, "Oh, no, we don't." And I said, "What do you think of them?" And he said, "Well, it can't get any worse, can it?"
Wow.
That was the guy who was trying to sell me one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work to do, and this isn't the solution, is it really?
Is that what's written on the box? Yeah, I suppose. I mean, well, let's see. 2024. What have you got for us? Swatch times whoever.
Yeah. And next time, think of a fun name for it. People gave you some options. We had Thrifty Fathoms. We had Blancpain times Swatch 50 No, that was terrible. That's the one they went with.
Yeah. Blancpain times plastic garbage. Brackets with slugs. That was my favourite.
Well, there you go. Those are our worst watches of 2023. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments below and share some of the watches that you think absolutely suck for 2023. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.